actually over here uploading my first One Wheel YouTube video right now, and it's ironic because I just got a package that showed up from the Float Life, which is an aftermarket One Wheel part supplier. I'm so stoked about what's in this box. So without further ado, let's just kind of get an overhead view here and dive into what is in this box and why I'm so excited about it. All right, let's open this up, see what's going on the inside. First things first. You might know what this is already, but let's see what else is in the box. Looks like just a shipping slip. Oh, that's dope. It's got a handwritten note on here saying, "Thanks, Kenneth. Float on, my friend, Jeff," which I'm guessing is Jeff McCosker. Appreciate that, man, for real. Very kind gesture. Oh, that is so sick. Float flights. These look to be organic rolling papers, which will be getting used, I promise. All right. So for those that don't know, this is the Kush Nug. And I actually went ahead and I bought what's called a blemished model, which just means it has some imperfections from the factory. I saved 20 bucks for something that I'm inevitably gonna get jacked up anyway. So let's pop it open, see what we got here. All right. Yeah, this is super dope. I can already tell this is gonna be so much more comfortable. Yeah, first impression, like I can see the blemishes. It's just like a little bit of finish, you know, stuff on the edges here, which I could honestly care less about. I'm gonna do much worse to this than is already there, so I'm very excited to save some money. But this is extremely durable, yet pliable, it feels like, which is what we're going for. That's awesome. Nice. Okay, so we actually got, looks like extra grip tape for the front of the One Wheel. Nice, I didn't think about that. That's dope. And a couple of stickers, which I'll be throwing on my pint for sure. All right, so this is sick. I'm gonna change the camera angle here, and we're gonna get this thing installed. All right, welcome back. So I actually had to go ahead on a step because I forgot to look up how to do it properly ahead of time. And that is for the grip tape removal of the front pad. Now, the reason this is important is because your front pad actually has two separate sensor zones. They're gonna look different depending on which One Wheel model you have, but I actually went to rip the grip tape off and I almost just ruined this whole pad. But luckily, I used my head and I jumped on here on YouTube and I clicked on this link right here, which is actually has Jeff explaining how to properly remove grip tape. And you do that with a heat gun or a hairdryer is what he uses, and it works great. Had no issues whatsoever. This is the old grip tape. So with that out of the way, let's move on. So in the last YouTube video I posted, I actually painted my whole One Wheel, including the fender and the side kicks. So I'm gonna start taking this fender off and talk about that a little bit. Now the side kicks are, the reason those exist is to take impact from falls, dents, dings, and you know, stuff like that for when your One Wheel gets away from you, more or less. So I knew with that in mind, I knew that painting them, it wasn't probably gonna last very long. I knew the paint would chip off, and it did. So it was more so to complete a look. Now, however, since the fender is made of plastic and the mag handle is made of plastic, ABS plastic, and I did a good sanding job, the paint is staying really well. It's not gonna go anywhere. And as you can see, when I take this off, I've already had a couple little incidents where my board went flying or my pint went flying, and there's a couple of dings and dents. But overall, the fender looks great. Clear coat's holding up well. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to. So I got that off, and I did a little paint job on my no fender, which is another crackle paint job, and this is fluorescent orange and yellow in a fade. So we're gonna rock a little gnarly look on this one now. Okay, now to get you caught up to speed here, get myself caught up, we have the fender off. We have our front foot pad grip tape off. I also have this denatured alcohol and a rag, and this is to just clean up any dirt and debris that I see while I have all of these parts taken off. It's just a good rule of thumb whenever you're disassembling anything mechanical to take a look around, inspect, clean, and just do whatever needs to get done while you have easier access to all this stuff than you normally do. Okay, so that's all cleaned up. Now to get this rear pad off, if I recall correctly, I take these top screws out. There's only two. They're the same screws that hold the fender in place. And I believe I have to flip this upside down and remove 2 or maybe even 4 screws from my back to get that out. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so we have 2 screws all the way back here that are on your bumper, just above the light bar. And then you have your 2 screws, which will also be attached to your bumper if you don't, like myself, have a float plate. Highly recommend one of these things. And even if you're not trying to do tricks or extreme stuff like that, it's just protecting your board. It'd be silly not to get one. And it looks like it already fell out, which is fine. There's all of our screws. Alright, the float plate is kind of hanging out there, that's okay. So, this is the old foot pad. Now, I'm not going to complain like a lot of people do with the design of this because, guys, you got to look at what the Pint is. It's a sub $1,000 magical machine, honestly. The fact that you can get something like this for under $1,000 is awesome. I feel very lucky that I was able to purchase something like this, and I live in a time where I can buy something like this. That being said, you have to do certain things in the manufacturing process to keep costs down. Do you think ONEWHEEL knows they could have an upgraded pad from the factory? I'm sure they do, but it's gonna cost them more money, so again, that's why awesome companies like Float Life exist. So, I have size 13 feet, and I noticed about the first weekend how insanely uncomfortable this was for my foot. I did like 2 YouTube searches, found 2 people talking about the Kush Nug pad and how they were just instantly blown away by its performance. Well, we're gonna find that out. So the old foot pad, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with that. We'll do something with it. But I have all of this taken apart, and I do see a little bit of dirt that I want to clean up before we start slapping this back together. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now, slap the nug on there. Looks pretty clean. I'm gonna put it on the side so I can get these long mount screws placed back in. And I'm just gonna try to get these threads started. I'm not gonna screw them all the way down. Okay, 1, 2. Now I'm going to temp install, I should say, my screws that are in the bumper going through the back. And then just leaves these 2 on the top. And once I have these 2 installed, that's when I'm going to start tightening everything down. 1, 2. Okay. So again, you want to tighten these screws, but not over tighten them. They're easy to strip. They're a pain in the ass to get out if you do strip them. So flip this back over. Finish tightening down float plate mount screws, which it looks like I might have to replace this one. Nope, it's good. I'm definitely gonna need some new screws though for this float plate. The long ones seem to be a little bit bent. deal. All right. Again, snug, but not too tight. Okay. Flip this back over. Looking pretty clean. Now I'm going to put this grip tape on here. It's just an adhesive backing. And this stuff comes pre-cut. Edges are already clean from the factory. You just gotta carefully place it, and you're good to go. That'll do it. Pretty easy to line up. This is the first one I've worked with, but it was a perfect cut. It was the perfect size to what it needed to be. All right, so now we have our nug attached. We have our TFL grip tape on the front pad now. All that's left is to put this gnarly no fender on. That looks pretty good. Okay. Just got your 4 mount screws. I really love the way this thing is designed. You know, I think it's a part of what makes it so exciting and so fun to upgrade and work on. And it's just really, really, really well made. And if you haven't had a one wheel in your hands before, if you haven't ridden one, these aren't toys. Like, you'll know as soon as you pick one up and as soon as you stand on one, this is a machine. This is a very incredible device. But that's really it, guys. Everything's installed. You know what? While we're here, I'm gonna throw a couple of these float light stickers on here. Just gonna slap on the front. Hit it. No problems. Put this one on. I don't know. Right there, look pretty okay. I think so. And then nug, which I think I'm gonna put right there. All right, guys and gals, that is it. Finished product. So we have our Kush pad, TFL grip tape on the front, side kicks, which you can't see because they are covered in duct tape on either side, and our float plate on the bottom. So let's take this thing out for a ride, see how it feels. And keep in mind, I've logged 300 miles on this thing already, so I have a very good idea of the feel for the stock pad. All right, let's get out of here. So I got this installed yesterday, actually. Gave it a little bit of ride time last night to catch a feel for it, and I'm just leaving the gym now. I'm gonna head back to my house. So, looks super, super slick. Can definitely feel right off the bat a really big difference in my my left foot, my back foot, which is obviously the one contacting the pad. Just seems like there's a lot more surface area than just that ½ inch they advertise, which is a great thing. So that being said, I'm gonna cruise and talk. I get really bad foot fatigue around 3 miles in on this thing. I don't know if it's because of my shoes or if it's because of the old pad, but I've probably put 10 miles on since I put this new pad, and I don't feel that fatigue anymore the entire trip. If anything, I'm starting to feel the fatigue in my front foot, which is the sensor pad foot, and I currently offer a Kush pad for that. I'm waiting for it, but yeah, so far so good. I'm still learning how to ride this thing without simple stop. I kind of screwed myself by riding with it for so long. But yeah, I'm gonna go hit this really cool trail, try to get some shots of it, so hang tight. Now we are about to roll up to one of my favorite spots to ride this thing. This is Rosewood Ave in Los Angeles, if you can find it. So this is sick because it's one of the only places where there's an actual trail more or less it's connected to pavement. So I'm gonna flip this camera around and let y'all check it out. Man, I can already tell you this Kush pad is a savior to my foot right now. This trail usually sucks on my knees. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Goes on a little bit further and then we're back to pavement, but super fun. Kush pad, passed the test. Love this thing. Go buy one.